Hi there and welcome. So I mentioned in the last video that Ayurveda was a holistic healthcare system. And today I wanted to talk a little bit more about what that actually means. So I'm going to share my screen and let you see the 5 bodies or 5 koshas as they're known. Koshas means layers. Now, you may think that you only have one body, but from an Ayurvedic perspective, you actually have 5 bodies. And this is where the practice and the treatments come to be more holistic. So you can see here in the biggest layer is the Annamaya kosha, or the physical sheath. Annamaya means food body. And most of us forget that actually the body that we live in is a product of the food that we've eaten, nothing more and nothing less. So the food body is what they say is the grossest of the body. So it means that we need to be aware of the food that we eat and make that correlation with the body that we have. Then the next layer, the next kosha, is the pranamaya kosha here. So if we had this food body, this gross body, a physical sheath, it would be nothing without some life force, something to animate us. And that is the pranamaya kosha. Prana meaning life force. And this life force is distributed through various channels of the body. These channels are called nadis. And we're said to have 72,000 of these nadis. We've got a physical body, we have something to animate it. And then we come into the next layer, which is the manomaya kosha. So this is the sheath of our thoughts. And our thoughts, although our thoughts cannot be touched, they're not tangible, they do have a direct influence on the biochemistry of our bodies. So our thoughts are creating specific emotions, and those in turn play out through chemistry, neurochemistry, and that in turn goes into an effect with the life force energy and with the physical sheath. So for example, let's say I'm thinking of something that is going to happen to me that is catastrophic. It is a real worry, a real anxiety. That in turn will have an effect on my breath, my pranamaya kosha, which means that my breath will become shorter, higher up in the body. And in turn, that will signal to the physical body that there's some place of distress, which will then have an effect on the nervous system and the chemicals being released. Adrenaline, cortisol, all of those. So the mental sheath is the third layer. So now we have a body that's alive, and we have a body that's thinking. This is really where psychiatry stops. And in the Western model, we're really concerned with the physical body. The psychiatry goes all the way to the manomaya. But then we start to take things into another level, which is the healing level of Ayurveda. So Vijnanamaya kosha is a wisdom sheath. It is this layer to you that knows its energetic blueprint. It is your intuitive body. If you imagine when you began life as a wee baby, right, your physical sheath wasn't that developed. You definitely had a pranamaya kosha. Your mental sheath wasn't developed at all, but your Vijnanamaya sheath, your intelligence sheath, was highly prevalent because it allowed you to find a source of food. It allowed you to know how to have a suction to be able to take food in. So the wisdom sheath is where we start to kind of up level in Ayurveda. And this is the whole nugget of the healing of Ayurveda and yoga, that somewhere within you or out with you is this intelligence that can guide you. For many of us, we're so caught up in the mental sheath and thoughts about what should be that this part is kind of closed down a little bit. Or maybe we're really involved in the physical body, and so we're not really listening to this wisdom sheath. And so the last sheath, the deepest core sheath for us, is the Anandamaya kosha. This is called the bliss body. And I think that we can sometimes believe that we're supposed to be in some ecstatic rapture that all the time. But the bliss body for me is a place of, if you imagine like a needle, right, that there's this wisdom sheath that knows where the right balance is for us. And the Anandamaya kosha is when we have that feeling of, I'm not going to say bliss, it seems so hyperbolic, but ease, right? When all of these layers are functioning well, we have a sense of what the right place is for us in the moment. And the body, remember, is not, it's a real-time organ. It's really like taking snapshots all the time of where things are. So when we manage to like align ourselves then to this Anandamaya kosha, this bliss body, it feels like nothing. But that place is a place of potential. It's a place of us really being in our potential. We're connected to our intuition. We have an awareness of our thoughts. We have life force and respect for the life force going through us. And in turn, that will translate out through the body. And it creates a radiance. It creates a feeling of power from within coming out of the body. So thinking about yourself as 5 bodies. And, when we check in with our bodies in practice or just in day to day, like how is the physical body? How is the breath body, the prana body, the life force? How much energy do you have? How is your mental body, right? How is your mind? Is it out of balance? And then finally, you'll know when you're in that bliss body because life seems easy and simple and like there's no thing happening. So I hope you enjoyed this video and just remind yourself that you are not 1 body, but 5 bodies, in fact. Hari Om. Om Tat Sat. Namaste.